Yeah, thankful for another win over the weekend. I think you guys have all heard me on in the post game. Um, was able to watch the film and evaluate some of the mistakes that we made and some things that we did really well, and look forward to praising our guys that did some good things and then fixing any of the mistakes that happened. I think it's a good time for some feedback and for us to improve. I mentioned that after the game, and now the film confirms it. So there's a lot of things that we could do better as coaches, and a lot of things that we can do as a team overall to help us win and be more efficient as a group. So that being said, I'll take any questions. We have a bye this week, and we'll see what happens. But we're looking forward to this week of catching up with our academics and focusing on making some corrections from last week, and then making sure our guys are still in good shape for the games.
All right, let's go with Jared Lloyd and then Mitch Harper.
Kalani, you mentioned after the game how cool it was to have that moment with the Boise State team, and they're on the field and have a prayer. And you've talked a lot about the importance of gratitude this year. And a bye week, like you said, there's a lot of improvement to be made. But I wanted to ask, just have you step back for a second and take in all of the emotion of this year and those little moments, and how much has that meant to you? It's been a unique year for college football. Just wondered what that's been like.
Yeah, it's been really good. I mean, I it's football, and it's a little different, but it's been the fact there's some bit of normal life with us competing and playing football and understanding the situation that we're in with the pandemic. But I think we're a resilient group of people, and overall as humans, and so we're trying to find ways to make things work, and we learn as we go along. And so I've been really pleased with the fact that we still get to play football, and for the 8 games that we had, and just really still have that feeling of gratitude and just appreciation for the opportunities, and being able to be on that field with our opponents. I think it gives you a different perspective on it, in the entire game, and I think having that moment with Boise after the game, but also having moments with other teams and interactions with them, it just means a lot more than it did before. You don't take it for granted anymore. So, injuries hurt more, even if they're on the other team. Just all those moments that the emotions are magnified because the threat of not having it, and then you just don't take things for granted, and that does something really good for the game, and it does good things for us as people. So that's a positive byproduct of the pandemic.
Kalani, when it comes to potentially adding maybe some additional games, I know Tom usually handles that, but maybe what goes into the decision for you guys? Would it be to strengthen your chances to get to the playoff for New Year's Six? What would maybe go into decisions to potentially add games if any opportunities come up?
From my point of view, is just getting another game. I mentioned after the game that we were hoping for 12 opportunities, and we ended up playing 8 right now, and we have 2 more scheduled. And so I think the window for adding a game this week has already passed. And so definitely we'll have a bye this week, and then we'll play North Alabama afterwards, and then we'll see. But that's something that our administration controls, and I know Tom's on top of it. If there's an opportunity for that to happen, then great. For me, it doesn't really matter what it could do for bowl games and things like that. All I know is we're bowl eligible, so that's we're going to be able to have another guaranteed opportunity to play with these guys again. But other than that, we're just, whatever can happen, we'll appreciate. And so that's our mindset of it. And if nothing happens, then we'll appreciate that as well, and just keep working with what we got. So that's all we can worry about, and stay focused on right now playing North Alabama, making sure that we're ready to go and that we're operating in as full strength as we can be, and that we were looking for opportunities to get better and stronger and more unified as a team.
And Kalani, just real quick, what's the latest on the injury status of Lopini Katoa?
Yeah, it looks like Lopini's. We're waiting. I mean, if we had a game this weekend, probably not, but we're hopeful for next week for North Alabama, and I think everybody else should be pretty good. I mean, Zane Anderson is closer to returning. I'm trying to think. I think everybody else is still in the mix of being, I think we're going to have more.
Tyler Batty?
What was that? Yeah,
Tyler Batty?
I'm pretty sure Batty. Well, maybe I shouldn't say it, but I'd be surprised if he's not on the field against North Alabama.
All right, let's take a question from Norma Gonzalez and then from Jay Drew.
Hey, Coach, I know it doesn't really affect you guys too much, but I just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on the governor's new state of emergency and the orders that he issued last night.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, we're gonna. I trust our government, our officials, and going to support them as much as we can, and we'll follow it. You know, we'll try to educate our players and ourselves, and you know, make sure that we do what we can to keep people safe, and regardless of how you feel about it specifically, or if you want to be on, you know, it's their personal feelings. It doesn't really matter for us. It's to do things the right way and do what people are asking of us. And I think it's a wise thing for us to think of others and to do what we can to keep everyone safe.
And if that means that you guys are once again left without fans in the stands, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, we love our fans, so I would love to see as many fans in the stands as possible. And I haven't heard anything yet about it, but I'm not really worried about that right now. I really haven't worried about fans, and neither has our team the entire time. And that's, like I said, I've said it before. We're trying to keep our team focused on what we can control. And we've had games with no fans. We've had games with some fans. We've had games with just family and friends, and you know, on the opposing team. So regardless of what happens, I like the way our team is playing, and the fact that we're staying focused and not allowing that to be a distraction for us.
Jay, did you have a question?
Yeah, Kalani, it looked like the SID department launched a little bit of a Zach Wilson for Heisman campaign. Were you on board with that? What are your thoughts on that?
Anytime we can promote our players, I'm on board for it. So whether it's their playing ability or things that they're doing in the community, things that they're doing as alumni, I'm all about promoting what BYU players are all about. So I support them 100% in everything that they want to promote, and whether it's for personal, you know, awards or you know, things like that, I'm good with it. So yeah, I want our players to be recognized for the things that they do and the talent that they have. And so I'm hoping that NFL scouts are looking at our guys. I've said it before. I think there's a lot of NFL talent on this team. You know, so hopefully they get recognized, and hopefully you know, we're able to get them in the league and represent the school and their families well.
And then just real quick, obviously there was a coaching change in state over the weekend. Obviously you probably don't want to comment on that specifically, but my question is there like a policy that you have as far as schools contacting your guys within season, or is there an unwritten rule in college football that you don't do that? Where do you kind of fall on that? Is that do you understand?
Oh, you mean with contacting my coaches?
Yeah, and you know, there's an opening within the state now all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have a personal connection with Gary Anderson, and so I would not be here if it weren't for mentors that I've had in coaching, and I've mentioned a lot of them. You know, I've had great mentors in Lavelle Edwards and Kyle Whittingham, Gary Anderson, Norm Chow. I know I'm leaving people out, but there's been some great coaches that have been part of my life, and I wouldn't be here if it weren't for them and their mentoring. And so Gary Anderson gave me a chance at Southern Utah to be a coach for him, and then he and Kyle gave me a chance at Utah. And so a lot of appreciation and love for him. And you know, as in regards to, and I know what he's about. I know that he loves you know, helping young men achieve their dreams and be the best versions of themselves. So in regards to jobs, I've said it before, I think we have great coaches on our staff that are future head coaches and our future coordinators and great leaders. And so I'll always be in support of them climbing the ladder and getting their opportunities, just like other mentors have done for me. I mean, these mentors are still involved in my life. I mean, guys like Ron McBride, I got a text from him, and Andy Reid, and great coaches that are out there that take time out of their busy schedule to just check up on me, Kenny Matalolo, guys like that I stay in contact often. So I'm just thankful for all their love and their friendship, and I think that the more people I know and get out there and get opportunities, I'll always support it.
All right, we have quite a few people with questions still, so let's stick to one question. We'll circle back around if we have time in the end, so we can get through everybody. So let's go with Tad Walsh and then Jay Catch.
Hey, Kalani, I'm back with another religion question for you. Going back to that post-game prayer, really I was going to ask two questions, but let's start with this one. Just what role does prayer play in your program?
It's huge. I mean, that's we can pray, and so we do, and we promote prayer often, and so I think it's a good personal prayer. We pray as a team, and we pray as a program. So I know that that's a big part of what we do. So yeah, that's we're allowed to do that, and so we're going to take advantage of it. And the moment with Boise, they invited us to pray with them, and we're not going to turn that down when a team invites our team to kneel down and praise God for the opportunity that we had to play. And I thought, what a great invite from them. I was really impressed with them. The entire game, just great program with wonderful sportsmanship, and hopefully we can be able to have that type of impact on other programs as well when we play them.
Just a quick follow, Jenny, just to say, do you pray before every game? I mean, how often? When are these events?
Oh, you want me to go through a prayer log with you? I don't have time for all that. I mean, I pray like my personal prayers before every play, and if a new guy's out there making a play, and if a guy catches the ball, I mean, it's probably every second if you want to add it that way, Tad. But prayer often. It doesn't say that there's a limit to it. So yeah, we're going to pray often and make sure we do it as much as possible, and coaches probably stress the limits to that a little bit more.
Thanks, Kalani.
Kalani, Utah's had an outbreak. They had their game canceled Saturday, and this week it's still undetermined if they're going to play UCLA. I wanted to ask you, is that situation something you're able to point to with your team and say, hey, this is why you guys need to be hyper-vigilant about COVID-19?
Well, it's just not that one specifically. That's all over the place. It's that's part of the sports world right now. You're seeing games being postponed or canceled in a lot of different arenas. It's not just college football. It happens everywhere, right? So I think that that's kind of like the norm now. And I've said it before, you could do everything right. You could wear a mask, you could social distance, you can do everything right. And this virus has shown that it doesn't really matter sometimes, that you could still pick it up and still test positive. And the key is for us to try to minimize as possible and do what our leaders are asking us to do. And so we're going to support that, and we understand that in the world of college football right now, you have to deal with a lot of different things, and you have to work with depth, and you have to have a lot of guys ready to play just in case guys test positive, and that's just the world we live in now. And I don't think any team's going to go out into a game being full strength. You just have to look at what happens and dealing with the pandemic, and knowing that every team out there in college football isn't going to be at their best because of the test results and things like that.
Okay, let's take our last two questions from Sean Walker and Pat Graham.
Yeah, Coach, you talked about this a little bit, but maybe to pivot back around to the bye week and just kind of the need for it after playing for 7 straight weeks, and kind of with the sort of the environment, the atmosphere, everything that's been going on in 2020. How needed is this bye week for you guys right now?
Well, I mean, if there was a game to play, we would be ready for the game, and we just, we've got guys get banged up, guys not be able to play certain games, and guys that have tested positive and not been able to play. That's just part of the deal now, and we felt like our team has been deep this year, and the unfortunate part is that we've had to test it, and we've had guys step up, but the bye week, the fact that it's here, I know Tom's always been working on trying to fill this game and fill this week with a game. We're just ready for it. We just knew that when it hit past Sunday and got to Monday, if there wasn't a game on the schedule, then we weren't going to have it. And so now that has happened, we've moved on to the next transition, which is take advantage of the bye week and see what we can do to get our guys healed up properly, but also make sure that we maintain our strength and our conditioning, and that we are on top of our academics and our personal and social lives, that we're smart with it. So that's going to be the key for us. But I think there's a good opportunity for us to still improve and get better as a team, and looking forward to getting that done this week.
Hey, Coach, how you doing? Thanks for taking the time. Sorry, just as player specific, I guess just how easy is it to root for a guy like Kairos Tonga, just given his path and that's got him to where he is right now?
Yeah, tough player. I think when you looking at the things that he does on the field, he's still there's some things that I know he can still improve on with his technique and stuff. He hasn't been people need to realize that he played tight end in high school, so D-line wasn't a natural position for him. He's an athletic kid that thinks he should be catching the football still, so but he's a tough kid that doesn't mind the physical part of the game, and when he gets his technique right, it's a beautiful sight. But we're still working on that. He knows there's always room for improvement, and right now I can tell you he's one of the strongest, more athletic guys I've been around for his size, and I think he's going to do some really good things in the next level. But I also think that he has a very high ceiling, and that when things will click for him more often, he's going to make a much bigger impact on the field, and we're hoping he can get that done for our next game.
I think that's it. Thanks, Coach. We appreciate your time.
All right, guys, stay safe. Thank you very much.